On this episode of BTV, another Buff alumni on The Voice, this year's state testing changes, and some major scholarship winners. All of this and more on this episode of BTV. Welcome back to this episode of BTV. I am your anchor, Nathan Gestring.
And I'm your co-anchor, Brianna Tran.
The death of a non-binary student from Oklahoma shocked people around the nation, leading to vigils around the country, and right here in Wichita, reporter Alex Barker was in attendance and has the story.
On February 25th, a vigil was held at the Keeper of the Plains in honor of Nex Benedict, a non-binary student from Owasso, Oklahoma, who died by suicide after being beaten in a fight at school.
Obviously, we wanted to honor Nex's memory, keep their name alive and the things that they stood for, who they were as an individual, recognizing that they lived, their joy. They followed the things that they wanted to do as an individual, and unfortunately, others found that they, disagreed with that, and so they did an awful thing by attacking them and not letting them just be who they are.
Many allies and members of the community came together in support for Nex and other LGBTQ+ youth.
The Wichita community does a great job at coming together in moments like this, and we support each other, and unfortunately we've done this too many times now.
The vigil was held to also raise awareness for parents to advocate for their children to make schools feel safer for LGBT youth.
School should be a safe place for all students to go and to learn and to thrive, and not to be a place where they're afraid that they may not go home alive.
Those who support the LGBTQ+ community have long feared that this could happen anywhere, even here in Wichita.
I think it's entirely too possible that this could happen here. At this point, this could happen in any red state. The schools are afraid to stand up for LGBT youth, even when they do try to put in policies. Parents and hateful organizations block it, and unfortunately, I feel like it may be inevitable.
Members of organizations and people of the city of Wichita plan to continue to fight for equal rights and justice for the recent violence against the LGBTQ+ community. For BTV, I'm Alex Barker.
Thanks, Alexis. If you or someone you know is possibly a victim of bullying, please contact your counselor or a trusted adult.
Southeast alumni AJ Harvey made an appearance in the movies Killer of the Flower Moon earlier this year. He also had the opportunity to compete on this season of NBC's The Voice. Reporter Chris Doe spoke with him about his achievements.
Anthony Harvey, a Southeast alumni who just recently appeared in the movie Killers of the Flower Moon, was featured on the national singing competition, The Voice.
I never would have guessed 2 years ago when I, was just sitting in my apartment and at home writing songs and just wanting to be heard. I never would have expected that this was the door that was going to open up for me.
The process of getting prepared for the show was long and suspenseful.
There is a lot of anxiety and tension that's built up for it, but they're investing a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of resources into you as an artist.
During Anthony's time at Southeast, he didn't actually take part in choir until his senior year.
As reluctant as I was, and Cookson will tell you that I was somewhat reluctant to join choir because I just felt that I didn't have that capability technically of singing in that aspect. And she got it out of me,
AJ was very involved as a student, very active. He was in ROTC, he was in theater, and he didn't sing in choir until his senior year. But he'd been out singing and performing with his guitar and had developed that skill.
Southeast has now had 2 voice contestants pass through the school's choir program.
I think it's a great thing for Southeast that 2 people who sang at Southeast in high school have gotten to appear on that show. I think it's great exposure for the school. I think it's very positive. And Chris Mann is out doing great things.
He was, further before my time at Southeast, but it was a cool feeling to know that I'm not, I wasn't the only one. And, I think that says a lot about Southeast, that the school can produce out some good talent.
While his time on the show is now over, Harvey has an album coming out in April and will continue pursuing music and acting in the future. For BTV, I'm Christopher Dell.
Thanks, Chris. We wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors, Anthony.
You probably noticed that this year's state testing looked a little different. Reporter Jack Elliott takes a look at what these changes were and why.
This year, we saw a different approach to state testing.
This year, we decided we're just going to do it all and be done, so that way we're not dragging it out. I'm hopeful that this will help our students as well, so that they're not having testing burnout.
We're going to have all students testing on the same day. The 10th graders are going to be in the gym areas, the main gym, the auxiliary gym, and the mezzanine for the most part, and they will test all day. And then 11th graders are going to go to math or science teachers' classes, and they're going to test in the morning, and then they will have alternate classes in the afternoon.
State testing being done this way will change the time we are testing to 1 day instead of 6 weeks.
It's beautiful. That's always been a kind of a pain for the English department, because it was always our job to get the testing done and then the retesting done and then follow up with students that didn't quite finish. This way, one shot, you lose 1 day, and the rest of the year is all ours.
With all the testing being done in 1 day, there is bound to be issues.
Well, the effectiveness is going to be a couple of things. We did have the district come in and add some extra access points. So I'm going to be testing like 1,100 students that day on the internet server. So that will be one test to see if it actually holds that many students and that we're able to test that day. Also, how many students come that day.
If everything goes smoothly, look for state testing to be done this way in the future. For BTV, I'm Jack Elliott.
Thanks, Jack. Be sure to attend school during future state testing days to avoid making it up.
Recently, 3 Southeast students has received full-ride scholarships to nearby Kansas colleges. I had a chance to speak with them about their accomplishments.
So we would like to have RJ.
On March 20th, Southeast students of Gatitas Coleman, Deborah Alvarado, and Richard Gwynn Jr. became the first Southeast students to receive a full-ride scholarship from the Red Foundation.
I'm very excited. I did the application, everything, but I wasn't expecting it, but it's here and I'm very excited about that.
Hard work, it pays off. It really does.
It's crazy. I don't even know. It's super fresh. Super exciting though. Actually crazy. I literally don't know what to say.
The process to getting a scholarship is a long and arduous one, so the winners has decided to share some advice.
The steps are just really just applying yourself and putting yourself out there, doing a lot of community service and focusing on your education, keeping your grades up.
So first you have to apply and read through all the application requirements. Make sure you craft your essay perfectly. Have people look over it and follow the steps of what they ask you in a timely manner. Do your interview, practice your interview questions.
Dexter Hayes, our College and Career Center coordinator, has also decided to share some wisdom regarding scholarships.
Take your final ACT, get that final ACT score. You want to shoot for, somewhere around a 20 or 21, anything like that. You also want to start your FAFSA application. You can start your application in October and, just contacts, build those contacts, build those resumes, build relationships and things like that. And meet the requirements, 3.5 GPA. You got a chance to win $75,000.
Out of 700 applicants, these 3 students went above and beyond and has earned themselves a place alongside the other 42 Rudd Scholars, achieving great heights. For BTV, I'm Brianna Tran. If you have any questions about scholarships, talk to Mr. Hayes in the CCC.
Government students recently took a trip to Topeka to visit the state capitol. Students had a chance to see various areas inside and outside the building and also got to observe a few court cases nearby.
On this segment of Have You Heard, Eden asked you buffs, how well do you actually know your friends?
You two are friends, right? Yes. So would you say you know each other pretty well? Okay. All right. So what is his favorite color?
Blue.
Is that correct?
No.
It's red. Okay. What's his favorite color?
Blue.
Ooh, okay. What's his favorite color?
Green.
Is that correct?
Hell no.
I'm replacing Eden today. What is your best friend's favorite color?
Blue.
Nice. What is their favorite NFL team?
The Chiefs.
We'll take it. What is their favorite animal?
Probably a dog.
Where would you and your best friend love to go on vacation to?
It's a tough one. To the mountains.
There you have it, to the mountains.
On March 28th, the medical club hosted its second blood drive of the year. Students who were at least 16 had a chance to donate. If they donated, they will receive a graduation cord.
The most recent solar eclipse happened on April 8th during the school day. Some classes went outside to take a look at it. While Wichita wasn't able to see a total eclipse, some residents traveled around the country for what could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Journalism teacher Nathan Krischer's wife drove down to Dallas where we got these shots.
The Fairytale Masquerade Prom was held on April 6th at Exploration Place. Queen nominees were Mary Tran, Katie Kane, Diane Myers, and Laura Pardo. King nominees were Descartes Santos, Raven Passfield, Thomas Wynn, and Raul Crespo Fernandez. The winners were Descartes Santos and Katie Kane.
Welcome back to the Sportscast. Will's busy playing baseball, so I'm your fill-in sports anchor, Jin Lam. The swim team went to a North Invitational on April 12th and 13th. Alyssa Newson placed 18th in the 100-yard butterfly. The 200-yard freestyle relay team, Olivia Curl, Rico, Brenna Blyer, and Alyssa placed 12th. And the 400-yard freestyle relay of Alana Stanley, Faith Albert, Kathy Went, and Brooke Watts placed 13th. Soccer is currently 2-6 with one tie. They won against Independent 4-0. Goals by Aurora Delgado, Alexis Abraham, and Kayla Matham. They also won against West 10-0. Goals by Aurora Kayla, Mia Powell, Lola Rita, Shea Petard, and Plamdi Mwanza. The boys 4x1 team competed at Pre-State on April 12th. The team of Kendra Hawley, Dimitri Evans, Carmel Mauricio, and Duan Colbert placed first in the elite race. Duan also placed first in the 100-meter elite race. On the same day was the height meet. The boys and girls 4x8 placed third. Parker Ree placed third in the 400-meter dash, and Braden Pollard placed second in the 800-meter run. Tennis won against West 9-0 on March 28th and won 9-0 again against South on April 9th. At the Derby Invitational on April 11th, Jackson Junker placed 4th in singles. He also placed 5th at the Collegiate Invitational on April 15th. Baseball and softball has both had a rough stretch. Baseball is currently 1-7. Unfortunately, they lost their last couple of games. Softball is still looking for their first win. Their next game will be against Highland Park on the 22nd. At State, the archery team placed third in the 3D category, which also qualified them for nationals. Nationals will be in Sandy, Utah later this month. Good luck, Buffs. Stuco and FFA teamed up to host Donkey basketball for the second year on April 2nd. Teachers from South Seats, teachers from other schools, and students rode on donkeys while trying to play basketball. Congrats to Team Eeyore for winning. On April 8th, the golf team played at the Bishop Carroll Invitational at Auburn Hills. Logan Lamb placed 11th and shot 76. That's all for the Sportscast. Back to you, Nate and Brianna.
That's all for this episode of BTV. We'll leave you with the sights and sounds from Stafford's students' basketball game.